You cannot have a long-term healthy business on a sick planet. The equation doesn't work. Next month in Thailand, Unilever will celebrate its 88th birthday on December 20th. We've been in constant operations as a one Unilever organization for 90 years, and much of our success is driven by the fact that we take a long-term view on the world and in our business. Hello and welcome. It is my great privilege to be with you all today. But first, I must congratulate and thank Kun Rongrot and the entire team at SCG. Even with all of the challenges we face in the world today, the fact that this conference is going ahead, the fact that thousands of you are dialed in to watch this, is testament to the resolve and the conviction of SCG to further the cause of circularity and sustainability, and indeed, it's evidence of how important this issue is to all of us to collectively solve. I'm very proud to be here representing Unilever. For those who may not know a little bit about our company, we're a consumer products company. Today we operate in 190 countries around the world. We have 160,000 employees, and every day around the world, 2.5 billion people each day use a Unilever product. Some of those products include some of the ones that you'll see here. They fall under three of our main divisions. We have a home care business, household cleaning products, detergents. We have a beauty and personal care business in Thailand, brands like Sunsilk and Lux and Axe and Dove. And indeed our food and refreshment business, delicious ice cream treats like Magnum and Walls, our Knorr brand in food, and interestingly, we also have a very large food solutions and food service business which serves small restaurants and large chains everywhere in the world. We're a very large business, and these brands is what powers our business and our relationships that we have with individuals and communities around the world. It is very important to us through our brands and through this commitment that we are a meaningful, positive contributor to the societies in which we operate. In fact, this purpose, to make sustainable living commonplace, is the very reason we exist. It's enshrined in our purpose document. It's why the 160,000 people that work for Unilever come to work every day. We believe that our business can be a force for good through this purpose. And we also believe that we have three fundamental beliefs which drive this purpose. The first is that these brands, brands with purpose, grow. In fact, 70% of the growth in our business is driven by brands that have purpose. That our people and people with purpose thrive. That's why we invest significantly in training and development for our people, and indeed, we pay our people responsible wages, we give adequate health care, particularly important now more than ever. And lastly, it's that companies with purpose last. It's a very simple view. You cannot have a long-term healthy business on a sick planet. The equation doesn't work. Next month in Thailand, Unilever will celebrate its 88th birthday on December 20th. We've been in constant operations as a one Unilever organization for 90 years, and much of our success is driven by the fact that we take a long-term view on the world and in our business. 10 years ago, we enshrined some of these long-term views in what we then called our Unilever Sustainable Living Plan. This wasn't a separate CSR initiative that stood alongside our major operations. In fact, this was stitched in to our company. We would prove that we could be a prosperous business enterprise and be a sustainably minded force for good in the world. 10 years ago, we said that we wanted to improve the health and well-being of over 1 billion people in the planet. That number is roughly around 1.3 billion people that have been touched over the last decade with our programs, things like self-esteem programming for young boys and girls through our Dove brand, through improved access to sanitation with our Domestos brand globally, hundreds of millions that don't have access to clean toilets, that makes them sick. We feel we have a responsibility and an obligation and the unique ability to make an impact there, and so we did. We committed to halving our environmental footprint, cutting it by 50%. In fact, we've done that, at least done that or better in many areas. CO2 emissions, we source 100% of our energy sustainably. We have gone in Thailand zero waste to landfill 3 years ahead of time, delivering that ambition in 2015. That's 5 years now we've been zero waste to landfill in this country. And importantly, given our footprint, we have 160,000 direct employees. By any measure, we have several million that each day come to work representing our company through indirect suppliers and partners that we work with. We take responsibility for them too. We believe that enhancing livelihoods should be what all large organizations have as a core responsibility. In fact, we do that for the people that work with us. We work directly with small retailers, many of whom are struggling to stay afloat, particularly now, ensuring different credit privileges and treatments, and providing special privileges to those organizations so that they can stay afloat and build prosperous businesses for their sons and daughters through generations. These are all just some of the commitments we've made. In fact, there are over 170 of them that we set out to achieve over the last decade. And by and large, our success rate has been pretty good. Don't take my word for it. Leading institutions like GlobeScan and like the Dow Jones Sustainability Index have said and have rewarded Unilever for several years in a row as being the leader when it comes to sustainability in our business practices. And while, of course, the good people at Unilever take a tremendous amount of pride from being recognized, this is not at all why we do it. In fact, the challenges we all face are so significant that it isn't about the accolades, it's about impact. It's why I come to work every day. It's why I've been with the company for 23 years. But after 10 years of the Sustainable Living Plan, we asked ourselves some very, very difficult questions. We've made so much progress, and yet the world is actually further behind. So we needed to redouble our efforts and make more substantial commitments to the planet and to our communities in which we serve. Six of the main commitments are here on the board. The first is, earlier this year, we announced that over the next 10 years, we will contribute 1 billion euros, 100 million euros a year, in what we are setting up as a climate action fund. We have committed to being zero net emissions throughout our operations, from sourcing to end use, by 2039. That is 11 years ahead of the Paris agreements. We will have a deforestation-free supply chain by 2023. That is around the corner, and we're making great progress to achieve that. We're working with partners, particularly farmers, to empower smallhold farmers so they have a viable and sustainable way forward. In fact, in Thailand, we source 100% of our rice sustainably. We pay a premium for it. It's Thai sustainable rice. All of our suppliers are signed on to a regenerative code in agriculture. That means if they don't have sustainability practices in their operations, then they will not be doing business with Unilever. We are using our size and scale to prompt and coerce better activities through our entire value chain. And then lastly, we are investing 100 million euros in water stewardship programs around the world in some of the most water-stressed areas. Again, here in Thailand, we know very well the impact of floods and droughts that they can have on the economies. On plastic specifically, an area that I am personally very passionate about, in the area of probably the greatest collaboration between our organization and SCG, where we've made great progress, but I'm very excited about the next chapter of our relationship together. We have made equally ambitious commitments. In 2025, by 2025, we'll be 100% reusable, recyclable, or compostable in all of our plastic materials around the world. We will cut in half our use of virgin plastic. In half, 50%. And, importantly, we will collect more plastic than we sell everywhere in the world. How will we do that? There are three big areas. Where we all need to collaborate is on the areas of education. Today, still, people don't realize how much of a crisis this is. That's not anyone's individual fault. Collectively, organizations, NGOs, governments all need to work on better education throughout societies and communities, and we all need to collaborate to solve these issues. We need infrastructure. 9 of the 10 largest ocean polluters in the world are Asian countries. Why is that the case? The thing they all have in common is that there's no collection systems, formal, proper collection systems. By the way, even where there are formal collection systems, the recycling rate isn't great either. Through education and better infrastructure, we can take plastics out of the klongs, out of the rivers, out of the estuaries, off the soils, out of the landfills, and put them back in the economy. Give value to that waste, and take products that otherwise will be discarded and give them a domestic economy. That's a stimulant to the Thai economy, it's a stimulant to all the economies around the world, and we want to play a central role in helping stimulate that through our size and our influence throughout the value chain, and indeed through our partnerships with people like SCG. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very, very much for attending today on this critically important issue of embedding circularity deeper into our operations and into our communities and societies. ขอบคุณครับ Thank you very much.
SCG, Passion for Better.